A showdown in a stolen cab led to an ex-cop's final bloody ride. He once wore the badge, swore to serve and protect, walked the thin blue line. But by Wednesday night, former Jamaica Constabulary Force probationer Sean Raby, 34, was on the other side of that line, allegedly hijacking a taxi, spraying bullets at police, and dying in a hail of gunfire along Camp Road. Sources confirm Raby was kicked off the force before finishing his probation after being found guilty of misconduct, acts so damaging, superiors ruled that they were prejudicial to the good order and reputation of the organization. Now that same organization has buried him. The nightmare unfolded around 6:20 p.m. as rush hour Kingston crawled toward evening. Raby hopped into a taxi heading downtown, a routine fare. Then the driver stopped to pick up a female commuter. An argument erupted, loud, ugly. Then the driver saw it. A firearm on the man who had been sitting quietly in his back seat just minutes earlier. Terrified, the taxi operator threw the vehicle into neutral, bailed out mid-street, and flagged down a passing police patrol. But Raby didn't flee on foot. He slid behind the wheel and took off, a disgraced ex-cop now commandeering a stolen cab. What followed was a roaring chase through Kingston's arteries, police lights, sirens, and from the hijacked taxi, gunfire. According to authorities, Raby leaned out and fired several shots at the pursuing officers, an ex-member of the force now trying to kill his former brothers in arms. The chase ended not with surrender, but with metal crumpling against concrete. The taxi smashed into a utility pole along Camp Road. Then came the final confrontation. Details remain murky. The Independent Commission of Investigations has launched a full probe, but police say Raby was shot and killed during an armed clash with officers. At his side, a 9mm pistol loaded with 9 rounds. Raby's death marks the first fatal police shooting of June 2026, but the broader toll is staggering. According to Income, as of June 4th, 140 people have been fatally shot by security forces since the start of the year. 140 lives, 140 triggers pulled. And now, a former probationer's name is etched into that grim ledger. The same police who once trained him now investigate him. The commission that once expelled him now examines his final moments. On Camp Road, the taxi's shattered glass still glitters in the gutter. And Sean Raby, ex-cop, alleged hijacker, fatal statistic, lies on a cold steel table, waiting for answers that may never come. A 36-year-old man was shot and killed, and 3 other people injured when gunmen allegedly opened fire along Corlett's Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, on Wednesday night. The deceased has been identified as Barton Stewart, a self-employed resident from the community. The other victims, including a woman, are between 21 and 28 years old. Reports are that about 10:30 p.m., Stewart was talking with another man at his gate when armed men approached and opened fire, hitting both men. The female victim was reportedly inside her bathroom when she was struck in the thigh by a bullet. A third male victim, who was reportedly walking along the roadway, was allegedly chased and shot by one of the attackers. All 4 victims were taken to the Spanish Town Hospital, where Stewart was pronounced dead, and the others admitted for treatment. It was later reported that a second victim died at the hospital while undergoing treatment.
Upton Nicholson, Senior Superintendent of Police, Commanding Officer for the St. Catherine North Police Division.
Yes, that incident took place Marchman Road last night. Could you just shed some light on that?
Right, sometime after 10:30 p.m. in the vicinity of number 53 Corliss Road in Marchpen, gunmen attacked a group of persons injuring 4 of them. They were transported to the hospital where 1 died while being treated, and later this morning another one succumbed to his injuries. Now, the police was in close proximity, and while the criminals were exiting the community, the police and the criminals had an exchange of gunfire. It is not known if any of the criminals were shot and injured, and we will continue this investigation. The Marshman area has been of concern from November last year, and we believe that the inter and intra-gang feud has contributed. Intra and inter-gang feud has contributed to these 2 murders and the injury of the 2 individuals. Now, the St. Catherine North Police will be pursuing the persons of interest that we believe can assist us in treating with this investigation. They are Damani Burton, otherwise known as Daman; Colin Booth, otherwise known as George; a man known only as Crooks; a man known only as Brother; and 2 individuals that goes by the name alias Twin. We are asking them to report to the nearest police station by 8 a.m. tomorrow, June 5th, 2026. We continue to implore on the law-abiding citizens of Marshman and surrounding areas to cooperate with the police, not only for this intensification of operation, but that we can restore your community to a place of safety and peace. We want the general citizenry in St. Catherine North to understand that the police will be working assiduously to ensure that they are able to go about their lawful businesses unimpeded, and that the opportunities for criminals to commit crimes will be significantly reduced.
Care to share the name of the deceased person?
Okay, the 2 persons that are deceased. One is Barton Stewart. He's a 36-year-old unemployed person, male, and the other person is Akeem Smith. He's a 27-year-old businessman of Carlitz Road. Unfortunately, they succumbed to injuries, but we will be working very hard to bring closure in a timely manner to these investigations.
The next 2, understand that a female was in her bathroom where shots are there.
I know that one of the persons was inside your home and received injury that is not life-threatening at this time.
Okay. The female got shots? Are the 4 persons all male? You know, if any female?
No, I'm saying one of them is a female. One of the injured person is a female.
So SSP, the space has been relatively quiet for quite a while now. Would you consider this to be an isolated incident, considering that you have had the area, pretty much,
right. This is the first incident in 7 months where citizens unprovoked were injured, because we have been occupying this space 24/7. And even when the incident took place last night, the police were there and they confronted the criminals. We do not know if any of them were shot, and the investigation will continue. And this is one of the communities of concern to us, but we know that majority of the citizens residing in Marshman and surrounding communities are decent, law-abiding citizens, and we believe that they should be able to live in peace as well. So we're going to continue our investigation, continue our operation to pursue those we believe can assist us with this investigation and bring them to justice.
And understand that, that's shortly after the police, went to Marshman Road section, these person attacked, so they are watching the police.
Well, we try as best to provide as much coverage, and like I said, the police were alert, and even though they may have slipped in, the police was on hand to defend the citizens there, And we believe that in short order we'll bring closure to this investigation because we believe that the citizens deserve it.
My final question, you think this come off a reprisal, from that shooting incident with the Dan killed the suspects, and this is a reprisal from that?
Well, the intelligence so far, it's early days yet, and we are following some line of intelligence, and we will use the best information that we get, but it's early days yet in the investigation.
Thanks.
A targeted law enforcement operation was successfully conducted on Wednesday across several communities in Manchester to curb lottery scamming networks. The initiative was led by the Deputy Superintendent of Police, Dave Brown, commander of the Anti-Lottery Scamming Unit, in close collaboration with the Specialized Operations Unit.
We are here to carry out a number of operations in the Manchester space. It will take us across several communities, and with the hope of those operations, we expect to arrest a number of persons that's involved in criminal activities. We managed to arrest 11 persons. We have charged 3 persons on unreasonable suspicion of unauthorized possession of firearm and ammunition, as well as possession of access device and possession of identity information. We also seized an amount of cash amounting to $3,061 Jamaican dollars, 2,380 USD, as well as we managed to seize 3 motor vehicles. These motor vehicles are Benz, Voxy, and a Mark X. We continue in our efforts against these lottery scammers. We intend to disrupt and dismantle their organization or their networks. We will remain resilient, we will remain committed, and as such we are asking members of the public to, if they see something, if they hear something, if they know something, to let us know. The number one aim and the number one goal is to ensure that this crime reduction strategy by our high command is maintained and further reduced, because Jamaica must become a place of peace, one which we can all live, work, raise families, and of course do legitimate businesses. Thank you.
Father and son shot dead in midnight horror in New Forest. Detectives worked through the pre-dawn hours Friday, combing for clues in a blood-soaked double murder that has rocked the quiet South Manchester community of New Forest. A father and son, their hands bound before the bullets flew, were executed around midnight in an attack just steps from their own home, a police source revealed. One of the victims has been identified only by his artiste name, Fido, the other his father. Their killers still unknown. And the motive, a ghost police say they have yet to trace. Midnight in New Forest, darkness, then the crack of gunfire tearing through silence. When officers arrived, they found a scene of calculated brutality. According to police sources, the 2 men were restrained, hands bound, before being shot down. Not a spontaneous quarrel, not a heated argument that spiraled. This was execution style. The victims were attacked near their residence. Their bodies left in the dirt of a community now choking on shock and fear. Neighbors reportedly heard nothing until the shots rang out. By then, the assassins had already vanished. Police statistics show that up to Sunday, May 31st, the parish had already recorded 14 murders, a staggering increase compared to just 8 for the same period last year. That's nearly double. Now, with the cold-blooded killing of Fido and his father, the count has climbed to 16 homicides since the start of the year. 16 families shattered, 16 investigations, and in New Forest, 2 more names added to a list that keeps growing. Detectives remain tight-lipped. No arrests have been announced, no weapons recovered, no clear reason why a father and son had their hands tied and their lives ended before dawn. Was it reprisal, a drug debt, a long-simmering dispute, or something else entirely? Police say they are pursuing leads, but as Friday's grey light crept over Manchester, the community was left with only questions and the terrible image of 2 bound men unable to raise their hands to shield themselves from the bullets. Fido's name now echoes not on a stage but on a police blotter. And New Forest, once a place of cane fields and quiet, is now a bloody crime scene.
Dancehall entertainer Squash gets 1 month cut from U.S. prison sentence. Convicted dancehall entertainer Squash has received a 1 month reduction in his prison sentence, advancing his expected release date to December 26, 2026. The artiste, whose given name is Andre Whitaker, was originally scheduled to be released on January 25, 2027. The 1 month reduction moves his release date to just 1 day after Christmas in 2026. Squash, 34, is currently serving a 27-month sentence at a federal facility in the United States. He pleaded guilty to being an alien in possession of a firearm, a serious federal offense that carries mandatory minimum sentencing guidelines for non-citizens. The exact reason for the sentence reduction has not been officially disclosed by the Bureau of Prisons. However, such reductions are commonly granted for good conduct, participation in rehabilitation programs, completion of educational courses, or other positive institutional behavior. The news of his earlier release has been met with celebration among his fan base and fellow dancehall artists, many of whom have continued to support the DJ throughout his legal battle. Squash, known for hits like Bad Gyal and a prolific run of collaborations, was arrested after traveling to the United States. As a Jamaican citizen, his plea of guilty to the firearm charge, stemming from a 2022 traffic stop in Florida, made him deportable upon completion of his sentence. His current legal status following the prison term remains subject to U.S. immigration authorities. If he serves the full remaining term without further reductions, Squash will be released just after Christmas 2026, having served the majority of his 27-month sentence.